knows and how they apply and how they can, help our football team. And I'm very confident in what we have available. Obviously, very disappointed for Cole and for our football team, what he was going to bring to the table. It's a tough blow for him, but I know he's a gritty, tough young man that's got great perspective on his life, and I know he's going to bounce back in a strong way. We're going to miss him, but we're also going to have to figure out how to compensate for him, and we're on the right track with that.
Coach, how is Donovan Leary done during the camp? What kind of want to see from them?
Yeah, so obviously he had a really good last part of spring practice and kind of started off there early in fall camp and just continued to mature in his leadership, and I think the team really respects him and likes him, and then on the field he's become just so comfortable with what we're doing offensively. I see it. He's coming. It's every day. It's an everyday process. And so I feel good about where Donovan's at.
Would you like to get him on the field early this year? Is that kind of when circumstances present themselves?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's a conversation as we approach closer to the game. But certainly we feel good about the opportunity when and if that's afforded to him, that he's going to take advantage of that because he'll be prepared for that.
You feel like you have your five on the offensive line, or are there still some robust competitions going on?
Well, I think it's getting closer to be solidified. We're always hunting and pecking for guys to emerge and watching guys emerge through camp and where they're at, and so certainly the guys that first five is probably pretty solidified as far as like today goes, but like we've got guys that are really coming on and feel really good about their ability to be flexible and plug and play, and so it's our job to put the guys out there in the best positions that we can, and whatever that looks like, we're willing to do that. But those guys have been pretty consistent with the way we've worked through the groups this fall.
I feel like you're in a position where you can absorb an injury or two this year with the depth that you have.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we don't want that to happen. So I mean, those things happen in football, just like the Colorado. Like, we have enough guys on our team to figure it out, and but I do think we've increased our depth and quality of depth there, to your question, and feel good about guys that can go in and function in our offense and do good things for us.
How's the helmet communication going for you guys, especially maybe in the scrimmage?
Well, I think it's been we did it in the spring, right? So we did it in the spring because coach had good vision, got out in front of that, and I'm sure some other teams did in the country too. But we used it in the spring, kind of a makeshift version a little bit, and so our guys got used to it. I got used to it, and then we're transitioning daily to using the actual way it's going to work during the game. So it's taking some getting used to, but I really like it. I think the quarterbacks really like it, and it's just finding that right little sweet spot on how much to communicate and how to not do too much and not do too little. So that's always a challenge, and it's been fun to kind of go through that.
A couple of receivers I want to ask you about. First, Alex Captain-Jones. We just kind of hear his name come up a little bit more. How much different is he now, a year in this system, and what can you bring to you guys?
Yeah, I think he's grown a lot. Last year he got here those guys that get here in the summer, it's hard. Like Carson Goda's gotten here late. He's done a really nice job. I'm probably leaving off a couple of guys. I think Zakari got here late and done a nice job, but that was kind of Capca last year, coming to a new system and not really playing at college football a lot, junior college football, but not like Carson had played. And so I think he's really leveled off. Really, you can see he's more comfortable. He's more confident. He's a tall, long guy that runs good routes, catches the ball really well. Is a really good deep ball threat. Really like where Alex is at right now.
Malik, what's different about him? Obviously, he had a lot of high expectations for himself last year. How much has he grown year over year?
I think he's really starting to come to his own. I really do. And I think I see that, and I think Steph's done a great job. Justin's done a good job with all those guys, and I've been super pleased with we got obviously overall a great staff. I work with my guys offensively on a daily basis, and can see just the way these guys are getting their guys to elevate and understand the game and coach them, and Steph's obviously a part of that. And I think he's got all those guys in a good spot playing, and we're going to use a lot of guys because we got good weapons.
Barry, as a follow-up to Doug's question on the offensive line and particularly injuries, this 2-week period of not having Croots, is that beneficial for you to be able to document and go, okay, whether it's Kevin, whether it's TJ, they feel comfortable doing this?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's not a good thing for us, but I think there is some good that can come out of it, and to your point, and to see, if this is a scenario, like who's going to step up, who we count on, and I don't think it's just one guy. I think we got to make sure we have, 2 or 3 guys ready to go, and so from that perspective, I think we can turn that into a positive for us, and really solidify our depth on how we're going to play there at that position.
How would each Trey and Cal obviously not getting a ton of reps, I would imagine, but
Don's been out today or whatever. How much have they progressed since the spring?
Yeah.
Each of those guys.
Well, Kirkland's the guy that is kind of got those reps today, and then Trey's kind of report a lot of the developmental reps into Trey, like we did Cal last year. It's kind of the order, kind of how we see things. Like the young guy, and Cal's gotten some of those developmental reps, but a lot of them have come to Trey, and Trey is progressing. You can tell he was here in the spring. And both Trey and Cal as well, their knowledge base has grown because of their time and distance being here, and so that's a work in progress, like it is all positions, and like they got to take advantage of every rep, every meeting, every walkthrough, every mental rep, and then when it's their time to go, they got to be able to apply the offense, and I've seen signs of that.
Big picture-wise, man, offensively, just what have you liked about the progression or the evolution of your offense in year 3?
Well, I mean, I like our talent. I think that's one thing. I'm not saying we've had good talent each of the last 2 years, but I think we've kind of restocked that and got some pieces of the puzzle that can help us, and it's gonna look different than the previous 2 years, just because we have different people, and playing to our strengths. It's fun. It's fun to kind of figure out, okay, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, and what can we emphasize, and so. I think we've got a group that's confident and hungry and know that when we execute and do things well, and I put them in good positions, that we can be good. And they also know that when we don't execute, and if I don't put them in a good position, we're like most people, we're going to get stopped. We're not going to be good. And so, but I think this is a fun time of year as we build our identity, and it's obviously the huddling and the communication, I should say, gives you a different aspect of how to play the game. I have a direct communication with the quarterback, so that's a new twist on the offense this year that I think can help us and inform our identity. So I'm just really excited to watch them get ready to go play. We've got a lot of work to do between now and then, but the big thing is we want to be a consistent offense, and we want to be there every game and show up every game and do what we need to do to help our team win, which is ultimately score one more point than the other team, no matter what that looks like.